Good morning, and welcome to Bloody Fairy Tales. Yes, it is time. It's time to start. One of my favorite fairy tales is An Old Grimm's Brother's Tale. Nice and bloody, for those of us who like it. Quite popular with the kids back at work. Its other name is called The Magic Backpack. So it's called Brother Lustig or The Magic Backpack. Let's get started, get comfy. Hope you got your tea. And once upon a time, there was a soldier. And while the war was going on, he did very good for himself. But eventually the war was over, and he had no job. He had very little money. All they gave him for all of his years of hard work were 3 pennies and 3 loaves of bread, little loaves of bread. So he took his 3 pennies and his 3 loaves of bread, and he started walking along the road, and he's like, oh, what am I going to do with myself? I don't know. Now there was a saint in heaven, St. Peter, sees this soldier, Brother Lustig, and decides, I'm gonna test this soldier and see just how good and kind he is inside. So St. Peter came down and disguised himself as a beggar. He sat on the side of the road and he said, please, brother, please, I'm so hungry and poor. Can you spare something for a poor old man? And Brother Lustig's like, well, geez, I'm pretty poor too, but at least I'm standing here and strong and tall. So yeah, so he gave one of his loaves of bread and one of his pennies to the beggar, who was actually St. Peter. So now he only had 2 loaves of bread and 2 pennies left. And he walked some more. And St. Peter disguised himself as another beggar and sat on the side of the road again and said, please, sir, please. You don't know what it's like, I'm telling you. And Brother Lustig looked at what he had and what this poor beggar had, and he thought, geez, right? So he gave a whole loaf of bread and a whole penny to St. Peter, the beggar. So now he only has 1 penny and 1 loaf of bread left. And he walks some more. St. Peter's still not done, so St. Peter disguises himself as a 3rd beggar, sits on the side of the road, same spiel. And Brother Lustig's like, well, I only have a penny and a loaf of bread left. What am I going to do? And he's like, oh man, this guy needs it more than I do. So he gave him the penny, broke the loaf of bread in half, they shared the loaf of bread. And then he kept walking. And St. Peter said to himself, this is a good man. I think I'm going to test him a little bit more and hang out with him for a while. So St. Peter disguised himself again, and this time as just a regular person, a fellow traveler on the road, and met up with Brother Lustig and said, hey, what are you up to, buddy? And Brother Lustig's like, well, I don't know, I'm just, have no job and no money, I'm walking around looking for work. And St. Peter's like, well, yeah, sure, me too. You want to hang out together and we'll do it together? And Brother Lustig's like, yes, absolutely, please, that would be great. So, they walk for a while, and they come to a village, and in this village, everyone is very sad, and they're crying, and they're like, well, what's the matter? They say, the daughter of our chief is very ill. She's very sick, and we're worried that she's going to die. And St. Peter says, well, I'm a doctor, so I can probably help her. And I'm like, get your butt over here, yes, all right, sweet. And, Brother Lustig's like, you're a doctor? We're going to be rich. You can get all sorts of money from this. And St. Peter's like, no, you got to understand this. I do not take money for healing. I feel very strongly about this. I will not accept any gifts for my healing. Thank you very much. And Brother Lustig's like, yeah, all right, sure, I guess. You're a crazy dude. So they get to the chief's house. The daughter is quite ill. St. Peter gathers a brew of magical tea leaves and steeps them in tea and has the girl drink it. Just like this. And she's instantly restored to health and life. And everyone is so happy. Everyone wants to give them money and gifts. And St. Peter's like, no, I don't take anything for healing. That's what I do. And Brother Lustig's like, oh, well, really, a little something wouldn't hurt. And so anyway, Brother Lustig ends up getting a nice lamb, a nice, tasty baby lamb. And they walk out and they, go down for a while to camp, and they kill and cook the lamb. And St. Peter says, I told you I wasn't going to take anything. He's quite upset. And Brother Leslie's like, yeah, I know, it's just a lamb, come on, we're hungry. And St. Peter's like, yeah, well, listen, I'm going to take a walk, and don't eat any of the lamb until I come back. And Brother Leslie's like, yeah, sure, fine, okay, be that way. So he's hanging out and watching the lamb cook, and it starts to smell absolutely divine. So he's cooking it, and it's sizzling, and it's smelling, and it's crackling by the fire. And St. Peter is not back, and Brother Leslie is so hungry, and he's like, okay, all right, I'm just going to take my knife, I'm going to test the lamb and see if it's getting close to being ready. Poke, poke, poke. And oh, there's the heart of the lamb. Well, nobody's going to miss the heart. So he takes the little heart out and eats it, and it's very yummy, and then he closes back the little cut that he made. And he, it's just after that, St. Peter comes back, and he's like, I'm ready, we can eat the lamb. And Brother Leslie's like, awesome, that's so great. Yes, let's dig in. And St. Peter's like, yeah, you can have the rest of the lamb. I only want his heart. And Brother Leslie is like, the heart? Lambs have no hearts. Don't you know that? Everyone knows that. And St. Peter's like, a lamb is an animal. All animals have hearts. And Brother Leslie's like, yeah, all animals except for lambs. Didn't you know that? Come on, where have you been living? And they go back and forth and argue, and Brother Leslie insists that lambs have no hearts. And St. Peter's finally like, fine, okay, I don't want the lamb. You just have it. And Brother Leslie's like, sure, okay. So he eats the lamb, probably makes himself a little sick, but enjoys it. And they keep traveling. Now they come to a very wide, fast-moving river. The river is running so fast that you cannot tell how deep it is. And they need to cross it. But Brother Lustig is scared and doesn't want to go on his own. So he asks St. Peter, tells St. Peter, here, you go first. And so St. Peter walks through the river, and the water goes no higher than his, maybe up to here, his shins, not even to his knees. And then it's Brother Lustig's turn. The Brother Lustig starts to walk across the river, and he gets to the middle, and the waters rise, whoa, all the way to his waist. And he's stuck, and he can't get across. He's like, brother, help me, to St. Peter. And St. Peter says, first you must admit that you ate the heart of the lamb. And Brother Lustig's like, lambs have no hearts! And then the waters rise, whoa, all the way to his shoulders. And he's like, oh, I can't swim, I'm going to drown here. Help me, brother, please, save me. And St. Peter says, first admit you ate the heart of the lamb. And Brother Lustig says, I will not, the lambs have no hearts. And the waters rise all the way up to the bottom of his lower lip. Oh, help me, brother, help me. I'm not enjoying this very much. And St. Peter says, admit you ate the heart of the lamb and I will help you. And Brother Lustig says, lambs have no hearts. And then St. Peter's like, ah. So St. Peter lets the waters magically lower and helps Brother Lustig. And he's like, you're a really annoying guy. And Brother Lustig's like, right, so they walk some more. And they get to this isn't a village, this is almost like a town, or not quite a city, and everyone is very, very sad. All the windows are drawn, black curtains, everyone's wearing black and crying. They're like, what's going on? And people say, oh, the daughter of our Duke is very, very ill, and we're so sad, and she looks like she's gonna die, and yeah. Brother Lustig's like, well, my friend here, he's a doctor. Come on, let's go. We might be able to help her. We'll be able to get stuff. And St. Peter's just really walking slowly. He's really dragging his feet, la la la. And Brother Lusting's like, we gotta hurry here, or this Duke's daughter is gonna be dead by the time we get there. And St. Peter's like, oh, that's okay. I can bring the dead back to life. And Brother Lusting is like, if you can bring the dead back to life, we are gonna be rich. Whoop 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 whoop. And St. Peter's like, no, I told you I don't take money for healing. You have to promise me. You have to promise me you will not take any money when I do this healing. And Brother Lusting is like, yeah, okay, fine, I promise. Let's go, come on. So anyway, so they get to the Duke's very nice estate. And sure enough, yeah, the Duke's daughter's already dead. And they shuffle in, here's St. Peter and Brother Lusting, and St. Peter says, I can bring the dead back to life. Now, nobody really believes him, but she's already dead, so they don't have anything to lose. So they're like, okay. St. Peter says, everyone clear the room and bring me a pot of boiling water and a machete. So they bring him a big pot of boiling water, like a cauldron, a big vat, a cauldron of boiling water, and a machete. And a machete is like a nice, long, chopping axe in between a short sword and an axe sort of thing. Good for chopping. So, everyone's cleared the room except for Brother Lusting, St. Peter, and the dead girl's body. And St. Peter takes the machete and chop the dead girl's body into all these pieces, and takes the pieces and throws them into the pot of boiling water and boils and boils and boils until all the flesh is off the bones. And then he takes the beautiful clean bones out of that pot and he puts them on the table and he arranges them in the form of her skeleton. Then he stands at the head of the table and he says, in the name of the Holy Trinity, dead woman arise. In the name of the Holy Trinity, dead woman arise. In the name of the Holy Trinity, dead woman arise. And at the third time when he says that, her bones become covered with flesh and veins and skin and hair and eyeballs and all those things, and she's breathing and she's healthy and she's alive. Yay! So everybody comes in and everybody is so thrilled. They're so thankful, and all they want to do is give presents to St. Peter and Brother Lusting. And St. Peter's like, no. And Brother Lusting's like, well, no, but, if you really wanted to fill my backpack with gold, I guess that's up to you. I wouldn't know about that, would I? So they fill Brother Lusting's backpack with gold. That's the least they can do for bringing this woman back to life. And they leave. St. Peter is now officially very, very angry. And he says, you know what? You broke your promise. I suspect that you lied about the lamb's heart. Suspect that. And I don't want to travel with you anymore.